Dubai's inflation rate dropped by 0.43% in October compared to the previous month. That's according to a report issued by Dubai Statistics Centre today. The monthly report stated that the decline was driven by a decrease in prices of major consumer groups, including transport, which dropped the most, seeing a decline of 4.17%. Furnishings, household equipment and routine household maintenance down 0.99%. and food and beverages dropping 0.72%. While consumers saw saving in these categories, the report also noted increases in the groups of housing, water, electricity, gas and fuel at 0.27%, as well as with recreation and culture costs at 0.22%. The report added that the inflation of CPI in case of tobacco, clothing and footwear, health, communications and education remained stable. Dubai Marina has topped a list of the most popular locations for buying and renting apartments in the Emirate. Dubai Marina recorded an 8% rise in rental interest in September 2015 compared with the previous month, as according to UAE property website Bayouth's September market report. It also recorded a 2.9% increase in search hits from prospective apartment buyers in September compared with August. Meanwhile, Jumeirah Lakes Towers was the second most searched for location for apartment rentals, with 5% more search hits in September than in August. JLT came third place for apartment sales, however, with a 0.3% drop in search hits over the period. Bayouth's reports said that Dubai Land overtook downtown Dubai for the third spot in most popular locations for apartment rentals due to its affordable residential options, generating 27% more search hits in September than in August. The decline in gold prices has triggered a significant jump in jewellery sales in many markets around the world, with Indians leading the charge. Between July and September, fans of the precious metal purchased gold bracelets, earrings, necklaces and other ornaments weighing more than 631.9 tons, the highest third-quarter jewellery demand since 2008, according to the World Gold Council. Jewellery demand from Indian consumers reached a total of 211.1 tons, which represent the biggest chunk, or 33% of the global consumption. Chinese buyers came second, with a little over 187 tons of jewellery, up 4% from the same period last year. Retail demand was down in the second quarter of the year, but sales were reignited in the middle of July as prices dropped to 1,000 dirhams, 390 dirhams for every 10 grams, triggering a buying frenzy. According to the World Gold Council, retailers saw unusually brisk trade as a result of the price decline. Within the Middle East region, jewellery demand reached 55.5 tons in the third quarter, up 8% from a year earlier. Consumers from Saudi Arabia led the charge, registering 15.8 tons, followed by Iran at 12.8 tons, Egypt at 11.8 and UAE 9.9 tons. The total demand for jewellery in the UAE dropped by 5% in the third quarter, with the trend attributed to lower oil prices and regional political tension. Top CEOs, human resources professionals and experts in the field of recruitment and training have attended the opening of the 12th edition of the HR Summit and Expo in Dubai to discuss the latest challenges facing HR in the region, while also focusing on the need to drive innovation to increase employee engagement. Her Excellency Amal bin Adi, Director General of Dubai Government Human Resources Department, officially opened the HR Summit and Expo and also toured the stalls of various regional and international companies providing HR solutions in the region. During one session, the best-selling co-author of the book The Talent Masters, Ram Charan, stated that the CEOs of organizations today need to link the processes of the business with the skill development of employees. One of these sessions during these summits was about why HR professionals in the region need to understand the employment law in the UAE, which is constantly evolving. Organizers stated that the summit comes at a time when a recent survey revealed that in the third quarter of 2015, the UAE saw a fall of 5% in the number of new jobs available as compared to the same period last year.
The challenges, they keep changing depending on how the economy is doing. So at the moment we see a lot of issues around engaging talent. So attracting talent to this part of the world has not been an issue for a while. Companies have been able to recruit talent, but it's about finding the right talent and also about engaging with them. So making sure that they are engaged with the company, giving in their 100%, and at the same time retaining them and keeping them. Because when budgets are very short, it's not always about giving them more money. So to retain people, companies have to go beyond just the model of let's just give them more money and see if they can stay, and look at ways they can engage with the people and keep them satisfied.
No CEO gets paid for vision or strategy, they get paid for results. Same thing for CHROs, they're going to get paid for processes. They got to do that will improve the numbers. So you start with the numbers, then you discuss with CEO, CFO, what are the causes, good or bad or indifferent. Then you work backwards, what are the people causes. If you practice this, your judgment will improve. The fact is the population exists. You got to compete for it. It may mean finding the right people, takes more time. It may mean a different kind of a compensation. But if you're going to be winners, you got to recruit that talent better than competition.
The UAE is moving with the times. It's developing its labour laws. The governing law for all of the onshore and free zone jurisdictions outside of the DIFC is the UAE Labour Law number 8 of the year 1980. That was recently updated by 3 new decrees this year, and they're going to be enforceable with effect 1st of January 2016. And they're really seeking to address transparency within the employment contracts to make sure the terms are really clear for employees. They know what their rights are and what their salaries and benefits should be. And also movement of workers. So I think of the GCC jurisdictions, the UAE is very strong in providing employees with opportunities to look for alternative roles, to move out of the jurisdiction if they find an alternative role in the GCC area. And I'd say that the UAE is quite advanced in that respect compared with some of its neighbours.
During one of these sessions, leading specialists in HR suggested that using neuroscience is one of the ways adopted by major companies abroad to explore how business professionals are able to take the right decisions in a competitive world, especially with lower oil prices in the background. More than 3,000 HR professionals and 70 companies in the Middle East and beyond are attending this summit. Alongside the conference and exhibition is the Middle East HR Excellence Awards, which will showcase the best HR talent in the Middle East and honour the region's professionals in the public and private sectors.
Resilience now is becoming really, really important, particularly in a particularly complex and volatile, uncertain world. Personal resilience, but also organisational resilience is really critical. So there's a group of physiological triggers, so that's things like sleep and exercise and diet. Then there's a group of psychological triggers, that's things like confidence and self-awareness, emotional intelligence. And then there's a group of organisational triggers, which are still personal to the individual, but are more within the organisational context. And that's having a personal vision, feeling in control, having high job satisfaction. Those things that are personal to the individual but are influenced by and can be in an influence of the organisation. And paying attention to both the physiological and the psychological and also the organisational are absolutely key.